Hello and welcome back to Popcorn Chat, and as you can tell by the background, something's different. I've moved to Cardiff, so a bit change of scenery in the background. You have to bear with me with these videos, but I thought I would get this one in because I wanted to talk about this film that I watched today. So the film I'm going to talk about in this video is called Makeup, and it came out in 2019. I'll be honest and say that the reason I wanted to watch this film was the fact that Joseph Quinn was in it, and if you've watched Stranger Things season 4, you'll know that he played Eddie, so I'm a little bit obsessed. So sort of going through his backlog really right now, and I thought I'd watch this film because he didn't have many feature films, so I thought I'd check this one out. And it's a pleasant surprise. So this film is directed by Claire Oakley. It follows a young woman who goes to a caravan park in the sort of off season to go and see her boyfriend, who she's not really seen that often. As she's there, she decides to get a job, and along the way she starts to think that maybe he's cheated and she's not really trusting him fully, and she gets this sort of paranoia along the rest of the film and leads her to, question everything really. It sort of has this horror tone as well that I really like, this sort of eerie undertone as we follow the lead character in this. So let's talk about some positives of this film. I really liked the style of it, and I thought it had this sort of eerie tone, this sort of horror element to it that you see in a lot of sort of recent A24 films, some sort of European horror. So I really liked the style and the cinematography, and the editing of it all worked perfectly. There wasn't any jump scares or such, but it just had this constant looming, eerie presence, and I really liked that, and it stayed consistent. What I liked is this film wasn't predictable. I thought, okay, they're going somewhere in the first third of the film, she fears that it's going to be someone with red hair in the caravan park that's probably sleeping with her boyfriend, and we sort of go down this route where we meet a character called Jade. Now Jade seems like a really interesting character. She's there because her grandma was there, so she wanted to work there close to her, and obviously you jump to the conclusion that it must be her, as she shows off these wigs that she makes. But then it kind of unravels into something else, and I quite liked that. It really sort of played with the expectations of what you think a film like this might be, so I did like that. I think that was really interesting. It kept me engaged for the full hour and a half. Again, perfect length of the film. I was fully engaged throughout this, and I thought it was pretty good. Though Joseph Quinn did bring me to this film, I don't think he was the starring role. He's good at it, his role and what he does, but I definitely think the lead, who plays Ruth, is really, really good, and also the actress who plays Jade. I think they're both really strong actors in this film. Even the ensemble plays their part. They go along with this sort of horror, eerie tone, looking at the sort of the stranger on this caravan park that is Ruth. So I think it was really, effective in which they did that, looking at horrors gone by, that sort of aspect of a small-knit community, especially when it's off-peak in sort of these places in Cornwall. It's in the winter, which would not be busy at all, if you don't know. So I think they captured that really well. One aspect I wasn't really sure of on this film was the metaphor of the sea. It kept reoccurring throughout the film, and her sort of connection with it, and her sort of ability to swim in the sea, which she's never done before, and I didn't really get what that was about, but I found it really, really interesting, her sort of character progression throughout. But I just think the sea element I wasn't really too sure on. There's not much music in this film, and I think that adds to the sort of tone of it, so I think that adds really well. I think the woman who plays Shirley is excellent. She gives off this sort of, almost like sheriff of the caravan town, I'm going to say, that she's the sort of the spokesperson for a lot of this and gives the people the jobs, and she's quite aggressive in her tones, and I think she's a good sort of forefront for the people that work and live in this park. She's just as much of a sort of cult leader than anyone really in other sorts of films, so I thought she did a really good job in this one. I really like this film. I think it holds up. I would definitely watch it again. I think it's definitely got rewatchability, and I might look at things differently this time, and for that reason I'm going to give this film 4 out of 5 stars. Let me know if you've seen Makeup. Maybe you're going through a Joseph Quinn binge like me. Then let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the film. But other than that, if you're a fan of A24 films, European horrors, I think you're going to like this film. So do check it out. You can check it out on Amazon. They've got a Curzon 7-day free trial, which is how I watched it. So do go and check it out and come back and let me know your thoughts. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you hopefully very soon for another popcorn chat.